Welcome to today's Gravytrain Podcast. I have Rachel from Our Remedy. Hi, Rachel. How you doing?
Hi, Kevin. I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. So you run a wellness brand supporting women, but it all started when you had your own issues. Are you cool with us diving straight in?
Yeah, I feel like the story and how it started is a massive, massive part of the brand.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, so I would,
Yeah.
yeah.
What led you to start Our Remedy?
So I've kind of, I guess I had a little bit of an entry into the sort of wellness world. I had a healthy eating cafe and had a vape business as well. And I mean, vaping at the time was considered the healthy option. I'm talking
Sure.
like 12 years ago. So don't judge me. It was actually considered the healthy option. So I was kind of in the wellness world.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for a good few years as like a co-founder. And I then started to suffer with ovarian cysts. And so I had a few surgeries, I had them removed. I was trying to get pregnant, and they thought that it was preventing me getting pregnant to having these cysts.
Yeah.
So I had various tests, but it turns out that I was actually like completely infertile. They like, you're going to need IVF. So I was like, okay, I'll have IVF. Like, I think even just going through IVF and then running as a co-founder, running two businesses is a lot to go through, and like multiple surgeries. I did feel like I was kind of naturally taking a little bit of a step back at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but I did have IVF. I'm very, very lucky that I was successful on the first go. So I do have a son now who's 7 and lovely. And so I'm
You've
really,
just
really
been camping with.
just been camping with, yeah, and he's amazing. I'm so pleased I get to experience parenthood. Because then he was 1 years old. Unfortunately, I thought I had another cyst. I thought I wanted to do another round of IVF to have another child. And I thought something's not right. I'm going to get it checked because I have these cysts and they won't do IVF on you if you have one. I was like, that's all it would be. It would be absolutely fine. Just get it removed. And then probably in sort of 6 months when he's like 2.5, I'd be kind of ready to sort of try the next IVF, have my next baby or whatever.
Yeah.
So I went in for the scan. They said, yeah, there's definitely something there. So, good you've come. And on the Monday, I got a call from the doctors saying, there's something there, but it's not a cyst and we don't know what it is. So they sent me off into literally an entirely new world, something I had absolutely no idea even existed. So I had blood tests done that day for CA125, which checks your cancer levels. I was sent for an MRI about 3 days later. And I mean, you kind of know what MRIs are, but I was young. I didn't really have any knowledge of this kind of world at all, if I'm honest.
Sure.
So it was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all strange. But then you start Googling stuff and thinking, oh God, what is actually going on?
Scary.
Yeah, scary. It was all within 2 weeks. So probably about a week later, had a call from someone in gynecology to say there are tumours. We need to operate, so we need to get you in and get these out because we don't really know exactly what it is, but we don't think that it is benign. So it was like not a cyst in this case. So I was rushed in and I had a laparotomy, so open stomach surgery. So I had this surgery done and that went well as really could be expected. I left and then they kind of said about a week after, as much as we did get rid of everything, it was a type of cancer. We don't know what the chances are of it coming back. It coming back as like a highly invasive cancer, which was quite like spread everywhere. We recommend a full hysterectomy. And I mean, I honestly don't think I even had ever heard the word hysterectomy before. And
Yeah. How old were you at this point?
well, I was 30.
30.
So
It's not something a 30-year-old contemplates.
no. And menopause as well was another thing. Then I had sort of sat there and thought menopause, and then obviously not having any more children, so it like completely infertile. So you get taken off to this side room and like bit like I don't even know if I cried. It's just a bit of shock.
I'd
Uh,
imagine absolutely just
yeah,
stopped dead when you is
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. So I really tried to fight it all and get like second opinions, third opinions, and
Yeah.
I did my best. I felt like I spent a lot of time really focusing on my health, on myself, on research. Like anyone with any kind of health condition probably knows, you read every single article you can. You join every Facebook group you can. So I literally felt like an expert in this subject just through lived experience.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, I decided in the end I would have to have the hysterectomy. I was going to go ahead and have it. During all of this process with everything going on, I ended up we closed down the vape business, we sold the vape business, we exited that. And so we didn't have anything to do with that anymore. And I sold my shares in the other business. So I wasn't working, but I wasn't doing the things that I was doing. And I thought, I don't know what really come over me, but I knew I was going to have this hysterectomy. I knew how much research I had done myself and how little information I had got back in that research. Like, I'm pretty good if I get something in my head that I want to do. I would try to find stuff, but I still couldn't. I was still struggling to find information, like especially people my age that have gone into menopause. So I just thought I'm just going to record my recovery. I'm just going to record what's happening. I'm going to start a blog. I started doing videos, and I started this blog, and I actually just started reaching quite a lot of people. And I put my videos on YouTube at the time because it wasn't really, the world of sort of Reels and TikTok wasn't really a thing back then.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I just started doing that, and I thought I'm not going to go through all of this for no real reason. So my blog started gaining traffic, and people emailing me saying like how thankful they were for it, like recovering from a laparotomy, supplements I take for my wellness, things like that, like just general, like this is really what's happened to me. I'm just writing it down kind of thing. And the supplements particularly just got lots of traffic, and I thought I'm linking out to like all these different brands, which I did take and I did like. It wasn't affiliated in any way. I just used them, and I just thought, oh, mate, that's my next business. Like I can do these supplements. I could do a range of supplements, and I can target them and curate them to what I feel the symptoms are that you have in my position and for the health issues that I've been through. So that's really how it started.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously there are people everywhere that go through some kind of experience, health experience, but I'd say very few of them end up starting a business off the back of it, which is but it sounds like I mean, from what you were talking earlier about the other businesses, the vape shop, etc., you must have an element of entrepreneurial spirit in you.
Yeah, I think I have this natural ability to see everything as a business opportunity. I don't know if it's good or bad. I said this to my friend the other day actually, because we was walking along and there was this big was in like this kids area, and there was this big machine, and it was really cool. It done candy floss, so you could pick what color you wanted. And I was, what a good business idea. And she was like, why do you think that? I just think, oh, that looks pretty. And I'm like, what a good business idea.
Why do you think you have a mind like that?
If I'm honest, I have no idea. And my sister is really similar to me. And we discuss this quite a lot because we come from a family of, our parents worked for the NHS. So nothing entrepreneurial really at all.
Not a business type of background, family or anything like that. Yeah.
No, and she's always worked for herself as well. I've always worked for myself. I think there's a part of it is I did have a job for a year after I finished uni. And I remember them saying like lunch was at 1 till 2. And I thought, you're telling me when I can go for lunch? I don't want to be told. And there's an element of just wanting to be in charge.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. And then I feel very, very excited by new things as well.
Sure, yeah.
Or I think that there's an element of that. But yeah, I do wonder myself.
So are you a control freak?
I don't think so.
Do other people? I'll go rephrase that. Do other people think you're?
I was going to say, I think my ex-husband might disagree. I don't know. I don't think so. I just don't think I like being told what to do.
Yeah, sure, yeah. So you've gone through this really rough time, really, really challenging time, and at the and this you've created the blog. You've started putting stuff on YouTube, and then you've kind of almost created. I don't know. Is it accident? It's not an accidental business. It's you're the one that's driven it.
It wasn't an accident. No, I guess it's more. It was suddenly, probably happens to a lot of people. You've suddenly got all these things that have happened over the past 10 years that put you in a position. It's when opportunity meets persistence. That kind of thing. Like I'd started co-founded businesses, but I hadn't been quite brave enough to do that step on my own. I studied graphic design at uni, so I've always known I'm very useful to have around when starting a business. Because what do you need first? A logo. Oh, what do you need? The website. Like in having that
Packaging or whatever.
yeah. Having graphic design and marketing skills when you start a business is really handy. There's loads of stuff I don't have, which I am missing, and I know that, but they are very handy for starting businesses.
But I guess you're back. You haven't been involved in 2 businesses prior to that. That's given you the impetus and the confidence to kind of do it on your own, I guess.
Yeah, and I think as well, being in a co-founding situation, I really, really hate conflict. I know no one likes conflicts, but I hate it, and I hated any conflict between any of us at all. And there was a lot of different opinions, and I actually really wanted to give something a go on my own.
On your own, yeah. Excellent. So what how have your personal experiences shaped the brand, if you like?
Massively, to be honest. It's all really driven from a storytelling and a really personal point of view. It's so authentic and it's so genuine, and everything is kind of my story at the forefront of it. So you just for example, my TikTok is probably where I get the most traffic, and my blog. So it was always my blog, and it's now definitely changed in the past year, where TikTok have started, like the SEO has started doing really well on TikTok. The video content does well. So it's just me on there telling my stories and talking about me. So things that have happened to me have definitely shaped the brand. And I think it comes across as very genuine and very authentic. And I think that's then reflected in the sort of products I do. Because I have literally got my face plastered all over this business, I'm hardly going to go source something from China, which I know is a load of rubbish, and go, oh, this is what I sell. So I think that naturally comes across.
Yeah, I think particularly in the things that you're talking about, it's even more important to have that authenticity.
Yes, yeah. Food supplements at the end of the day is something you're putting in your body, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. What sort of feedback do you get from people?
Yeah, I get very good feedback. So our Amazon does very well, and Amazon reviewers are brutal. So the fact that I even have, like, I think a couple of my products are 4.5 stars on Amazon, which I think is real achievement, and the others are maybe 4.3. So yeah, we get really, really good reviews and a lot of return customers.
And you're saying that, I mean, the return customers is a big one, that lifetime value. But what about the acquisition? How do people generally find you? I mean, you mentioned the transition from the sort of the blog to TikTok. Where do you get your customers from?
That is an excellent question. And if I was better at tracking my data and that type of person, I would know how to answer that. I am terrible at doing that. I try and download as much kind of software as possible because, like I say, I'm very creative. I'm marketing, design, all that. But then when it comes to anything analytical, it's just not how my brain works. And I do definitely need to hire into that space in the future. That would be my first hire when I do make one, because I use different software, like I say, and I do the best I can. And it's kind of is always tend to be guesswork with me, which I know is definitely not how you should run a business. Nobody listen to that as a tip because I know you shouldn't. But at the moment, it is still, as far as I can tell, because when I get an order, I have something on the bottom that apparently tracks where it's come from. So probably my top 3 would be Klaviyo. So email marketing does really well for me. I've worked freelance in CRM management, so I kind of know what I'm doing with email marketing. My TikTok does well, so I use Linktree, yeah, for the link in the bio, so you can track where the clicks coming from. So my TikTok does do well, and still my blog, but then that's always a bit up in the air because that comes through as it doesn't give me the blog it comes from, really, things like that. Like if I was better at tracking it all and using GA4 and things like that, then I should know like how many sales I'm getting from certain blogs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that the email, the Klaviyo side of things. I mean that is huge. Um, what would you say of the sort of three main pillars: acquisition, conversion, or retention? What's the one? What gives you the biggest headache?
Oh, definitely. Oh, God, I want to say acquisition because I mean, I know my CPA on Amazon is like
Yeah,
£8.50, and some of my products are like 9.99, and then I'm still having to pay all the fees. I usually lose money, which I know is very normal on the first sale, and then but most people like 25% come back and buy again.
yeah,
So it is still worth it. And I know that. So I would say probably acquisition. Meta ads, I know we've spoken about this before. I have absolutely not nailed. I don't-
sure.
and I think a lot of that comes down to being a bootstrapped small business.
Yeah,
I don't have the budget. I know that I need to put a certain amount really towards these ads every single month in order to give my pixel time to do its thing and to sort of learn where it needs to get people from. So I know that putting a little bit of money here and there and isn't enough. So meta acquisition is a massive headache. I would say probably retention is what I find the easiest.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah. So if you could crack the acquisition, you've already nailed the retention, and that sounds like that's the key to growth.
it does actually, yeah. It does. Yeah. How do I do that?
So what's next for you and the brand?
So at the moment, we've just launched into Boots and Boots.com, which is really exciting. So I entered a competition last year, which is called Meet the Buyer, and it's aimed at small businesses. I got chosen to go pitch, and there was 7 of us, I think, and I won it. So that was really exciting. So
That's amazing.
so good. So in from March this year, but it was actually honestly more like April because I sent all my stuff up to them and 2 of the barcodes wouldn't scan. So they had to send it back. I had to sticker on all the new barcodes and send it back to them, which took about 4 weeks. And all this process to be honest, is worth it, but it's been a massive headache.
Yeah.
So I've been in Boots for a couple of months and it is going well. And there's just little things that I need to keep doing to try and ensure the sales keep coming in, because then come next March, they'll review it and they'll decide if I get to go in all their stores. So
Yeah.
obviously that would be incredible. And so that is kind of my focus point at the moment.
Yeah, I
I
bet. So in terms of, I mean, that's a key area of a focus for you for the next, well, certainly for the rest of this year or the next 12 months or so.
Yeah, and I think I've got Boots going to investors and saying, we're in Boots, things are really ramping up is another big step. I did do a big pitch in London about 4 weeks ago. Nothing come of it, but it was so interesting to do. One, the fact that I didn't know if I could do it, like, and I did do it, and I was really proud.
Well done.
Yeah, so that was good. And I've got a whole room of investors. I've got a couple of 3 people that I'm kind of in talks with. So that's good. I don't know if anything will come of it because I'm not going to choose an investor for the sake of it. I want to
No.
choose somebody that understands my mission and what I'm doing. If I'm honest, it's probably going to be a woman. I think it's going to be a man. But that's a whole nother story. And I also now I've got Boots. I can go to other retailers and say, we are in Boots. So
Yeah.
other people will be interested naturally because of that. So that's something else that's on my radar at the moment too.
You talk a bit about sustainability. Why has that been so important from the start?
It's important because I have major planet anxiety. Quite honestly, like major. So I remember being 7 years old and saying to my mum, I need to be a vegetarian. And she was like, I'm not cooking more meals. And I was like, no, I have to. I said, because the cows release methane into the air and it's damaging the ozone layer and I'm not eating meat anymore. And I
How old are you then?
7 years old.
7.
Yeah.
And
And
are you still veggie?
I'm still veggie. I've gone between plant-based, veggie. So I'm just a big planet eco enthusiast in any way I can be. So I would never start a business that in any way did anything, well, as much as I can possibly help to not damage the environment, I will. And I have taken a lot of supplements over the past sort of 15 years since being a proper adult. 15 years? Yeah, about that. And I would just think the plastic pots are so frustrating because you get like 30 capsules and then you throw it in the bin. So that's how mine's in pouches. That's why everything I try to get is made in the UK. I don't want to add the air miles. It's really just a personal passion. I don't massively shout about it, if I'm honest, because a lot of feedback I've had is, are you a sustainable brand? Are you a women's health brand? Like, what are you trying to do? And I think it can seem a bit confusing. So I'm a women's health brand with a sustainable ethos.
Yeah, brilliant. I see you also give back to charity. How does that work?
Yeah, so with each bottle of our CBD, so I do CBD as well, we give a donation to Bloody Good Period.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I guess I mean, the whole thing is a personal thing, isn't it? Everything you're doing.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's just, I guess it's like my head. What's in my head? I guess
Yeah.
only founder and you're kind of doing it all by yourself. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. So if you were to look back and give yourself a bit of advice, what would that be?
For advice, I think I'm always in a rush and I'm quite an impatient person.
Yeah.
And I think looking back, it's like, God, things take so much longer than you think they're going to take when it comes to starting a business. So I remember thinking when I kind of started it, oh, I'll put this money in, I'm sure I'll have it back in 3 months. No, realistically, that's not going to happen. For example, I had a lot of goals, big goals. And I think sometimes being overly ambitious is demotivating. It's better to have more achievable goals that make you feel good for completing them. And rather than these huge goals, like, this is reality, isn't it? Like the people you hear from normally on podcasts and you see on reels, like they have achieved these huge goals, but you don't know what they've had around them.
Yeah.
You don't know what help they've had and how much money they've had. Like I've just started this from nothing and bootstrapped and done it while raising a family. And yeah, I do get a bit frustrated sometimes hearing, no offense, but more like male figures that have got these huge successes and huge wins. And I bet you haven't done that whilst being the primary carer for a child and
Yeah.
things like that.
No, I'd agree with that, definitely. And also you only, I don't know, you generally, I mean, what I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to kind of like warts and all, give me the good, the bad, rather than because as founders, many people have had difficulties, challenges, and those sorts of things. But what you've overcome to start a business it's pretty mind blowing, really.
Yeah, I do think I have this saying in my head, I am someone that can do hard things because running a business is definitely hard. And I mean, remember we spoke about a month ago when we first had a chat and I said to you, I want to quit. And I said, how often do you want to quit? And I think you tell every day.
There are times, yeah.
But I really want to quit. And I think I end up saying to someone every day, like, I don't know, should I keep going? Because I know what I'm sitting here going, oh, we're in boots and this has happened. And it does all sound good. But also I still find myself on LinkedIn jobs.
Yeah.
And I think that probably is quite normal. I still find myself spending time thinking, is this right? Am I doing the right thing?
I think it's doubting. I think you're not alone in being someone that's sometimes like doubting what you're doing, doubting like whether it's going to work and those sorts of things. But you've got to. I think you've got to. I mean, clearly you're trying to be positive about it, and you are positive about it. But there's no doubt that it doesn't matter who you are. Doubts creep in, But you're still going.
Yes, still going. Yeah.
Excellent. So what if you could go forward a couple of years, what would things look like ideally?
So a couple of years, I would say still a very authentic storytelling, personal business with the customer at the heart of everything. And like genuinely making products that help people. I really, really want to do custom formulations, which I work with a business mentor in Innovate UK, and I'm working on a grant application at the moment to try to produce a custom formulation for what I think is a very, very overlooked area of women's health. So hopefully that would be in boots in 2 years' time. Like I say, I'm quite big, ambitious plans. And I'm also working on a support platform at the moment. So it's called Raise. And the idea is it's peer-to-peer support, one-on-one, and it connects someone going through a health problem with someone that's been through a health problem. So
Well,
for
that's
example,
amazing.
when I got told, you're going to need a hysterectomy, you're going to be in the early menopause, the idea would be, because you get taken to a little side room, you get given my flyer and you join, and on there are other people like me that have been through it, that are happy to spend an hour a month, not even a lot of time, having a little chat with someone. It's more just emotional support, nothing like, definitely no medical advice or anything like that. But I know how valuable I would have found that at the time when I've spent all that time researching to speak to somebody who'd just been there. I think the lived experience is so valuable. And I think there's a massive, massive connection. So I'm starting that as a new business, but it's massively going to support our remedy, because at the end of the day, I'll have a community of women with a lot of data. And as long as it's all compliant and like I know how I treat data, it's in a very, very nice way. I got a community of people that I can help with these products, that then if I've got this custom formulation, I've got these women with this problem and I've produced this amazing formula and I can help them. So the idea is that I'm basically helping a lot of people.
Excellent. I mean, it's highly admirable. And Rachel, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a really good chat, and I'm sure particularly women who are watching will find it inspirational.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It was actually nice to talk about things in a positive way.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Kevin.